Hey guys, Elizabeth, the curly haired country gal here yet again, and I wanted to talk to you today about the tool that I find most helpful in staying organized with projects on the homestead. So, whether you're large scale or small scale, being organized is kind of my thing, and it's really helpful for anybody on the homestead. And not only organizing, but also prioritizing your tasks. It can feel like so much stuff to do, so much to get done, and there's always something to do. There's always a project. But for me, there's a tool that's been really helpful to kind of zero in on things. And I'm going to share what that is today and what it looks like. Now, as with everything, all the videos I make, I'm always trying to balance and focus on three things: making things that are durable, low cost, and low maintenance. Now, the nice thing is, I don't really know if I could call this computer program, this website, durable. I guess it depends on how long it lasts, but it's free to sign up, so that's definitely low cost. And it's as high maintenance as you want to make it, so I would call that low maintenance. It's just really a helpful organization tool. So, and just so you know, the way I heard about this was because I teach online Spanish classes, which I've mentioned before, and I got started with it with a personality named Christy Wright, who's a Dave Ramsey personality, and she, in one of her organization modules, focused on this website. So, without further ado, the name of the website is Trello. Trello.com, Trello, and I'm going to show you what it looks like for me and how it helps me stay organized. So, let's do this thing. All right, so if you go to Trello.com, this is what it'll look like after you get signed in. So, of course, I'm already signed in, and there are so this is what it's going to look like. And you can have different boards. These different things that I can click on up here are boards. I have some previous ones that I don't use anymore, like a job search, or I don't use Kid Choice anymore. I have that organized somewhere else. But this, I'm going to show you. So I have my business stuff, teaching Spanish on the business side of things, and then the actual teaching slash lesson side of things. I have boards for those. But what I'm going to show you today is my project list and just how I use Trello to keep it organized and to prioritize. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go over here. This is my project list. This is what Trello looks like when you open it up. And just kind of a random side note, if you've never tried this on your Chrome browser, you might be able to do it on other browsers, I'm not sure, but you can pin a tab that you always go to, like your project list, and all you do is right click, and you can either pin it or unpin it. If you unpin it, it just looks like normal, and if you pin it, it's just always there, and you can drag it to where you want it. So this is what it looks like when you have a Trello board. Within the board, you can make as many lists as you want. So for me, it helps me to stay organized by having my different animals or major categories as their own list. So in my list, I have chickens slash compost, because those kind of go together for me, a food forest slash raised bed gardens, rabbits, bees, pigs, and then I have a different category for things that I need to buy. Those could go within the different ones, but I just, I need to buy such and such for the rabbits, but I like to have a separate category for those. And then we have a dog. And then I just have kind of a catch-all list for just things to do later, things to keep in the back of my mind, especially if I have a light day, and I'll get back to that color coding. So within the board, these are all lists that you can make, and within the list, these are called the cards. Now, the thing that's really neat about this that helps me a lot is at first, when I approached homesteading and all the things I wanted to do, there's just so many ideas, and it's like, oh yeah, I could start with this for the rabbits, I can start with this for the pigs, and it just feels like, where do I even start? And so it really helped me to hone in and 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 get organized. I just like to organize anyway, but to put everything on a list. So, so here I'm going to show you something that Trello can do. It's really nice that you can actually just grab a list and drag it. And so what I do, so at first I had rabbits over here and I had pigs over here. And then I realized, it's going to be helpful if the first column is the one that I need to prioritize the most, and the second column is the one I need to prioritize second. So that's how I have things organized now. Right now, I have a compost system and chickens, and I'm developing a food forest, and I have raised beds. I have one beehive in our little tiny apiary, but for me, rabbit tasks are also even a little bit more pressing than bee tasks. So but if that changes in the future, I can easily just move it. So it's kind of like having sticky notes everywhere, except you can't lose them, and the stick never unsticks, and it's great. So this is what mine looks like. So we don't actually have rabbits yet, but I know I want to have rabbits, so this is how I can prepare. And the same with pigs. We're gonna, hopefully get kuni pigs down the road, and so I have a list of the things I can start to work on for that, and a tentative timeline, which I'll get to. Now, the same thing within a list, again, you can just click and hold on whatever task you have to do. And if you're like, oh, that's not as important as I thought it was, you can put it down at the bottom. Or if you realize, oh, I need to get that done, you can move it to the top. And then to add something new, you can scroll all the way to the right to create a new card. I'm sorry, to create a new list. And then within the list, you can just easily create a new card or add a card, and you can just add something new. And all you have to do is hit enter, and you've got a new card. And then when you're done with a card, after you've completed it, you can archive it, which I don't actually know where the archived things go. I've never looked, but it's basically just deleting it. Or if you want, if you love to see the checked off boxes, you could create a list of completed tasks. I've had that before, and just move it over to the completed tasks. And then if you realize, oh wait, I put this task under this category, but it really belongs in here, you can drag things from list to list. I just love this. It's just so user friendly. And so again, with anything that I like to do, I like to give the pros and the cons. For this, I feel like there's only pros. I mean, it's free. It's very user friendly. It's very easy to use. So now there's one last thing I wanted to show you, and that is the color coding that I have. That's another feature of Trello that I really like, is that you can color code things. All you do is click that pencil at the top to edit it, and then, or maybe it's an eraser, I don't know. But then you can edit the labels, and so you can have one color, or you can have multiple colors, depending on how you like to have things organized. I try to just have one color for everything, but that's so how I color code things is I have a list to remind myself of how I color code things. The green things are things that I can do now. So back with my chicken and composting tasks, the most pressing things, not urgent, but the most pressing things are to make or build a cover for the feeder and the dust baths. So those are green. And then it just helps me to prioritize again, because before, a bunch of these other tasks were green, and there were so many green things, and I thought, oh, there's so many things to do. But just seeing it all laid out, I can go, working on the rabbitry is something I can work on later. It's not what I should focus on now, though. I don't have rabbits yet. I have chickens, and I need to make sure I take good care of them. Then I have this orange. Those are things that I can work on in the spring. So that would be of next year. So, for example, things like brainstorming water collection and digging the trenches for the rabbitry, which there will be another video on for sure. And then there's a few yellow things. Some of these yellow things are things that I could work on this fall or winter. So with the beehives, there was a possible bee training I could have done. I didn't do it, so I can just go ahead and archive that. And I was going to check the beehive, but I'm actually not going to do that until spring. So again, I can click on the list. I can easily change things. I can say, no, I want to check that in the spring, actually more like summer of 2021, and I can change the label to say, well, that's not a fall task anymore, that's a summer task. So maybe I'll just go ahead and make that purple. And so then I can go over here and I can say that the purple things are summer 2022. And then I add the card and I go and I make it purple. So it's just really, yeah, easy to use, really, really nice. And then I can just put it in whatever order I want. I guess it would make the most sense to just have it in order like this. Now I don't have any right now, but I also use red to say that something is urgent. So it's just really helpful to remember, urgent things tend to rise to the top in your mind anyway. But if digging trenches was all of a sudden urgent because, I don't know, a storm was going to come or something, then I can go ahead and change this label to red, and then I can remember, oh yeah, that's what I need to work on first. So that's nice. And then the last color that I use is blue, and these are for recurring tasks. So that was another helpful thing for me to keep in mind. With a lot of these, you can, get done with it, archive it, you're done. But then some of them are recurring, and so then I can make a note that for me, I need to scrub the waterers out for the chickens once a month. And so I last did that in October. Then I just did it a few days ago. All right. And so it's just nice that you can make notes, you can put dates on here, and then you can keep track of recurring tasks so that it doesn't go 6 months and you haven't scrubbed the waters and it's moldy and gross. So again, this is Trello, Trello, free, really user friendly, and it's how I stay organized with my tasks. I love it, and I hope you find it helpful too. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, would you like the video and subscribe to the channel? That'll help support future videos and myself and my family. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.